Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to take you on a tour of my newly updated homeschool space. This is going to be video number 1 in my back to school series. Starting today, I'm going to post videos every single day this week full of back to school content. I'm going to share our fall curriculum picks for each one of my school age children, as well as some school supply hauls and lots more. So if you have not already subscribed to my channel, make sure to do that. Stick around so that you don't miss any of the fun things I have coming up this week. So before I take you on a tour around my homeschool space, I want to start with just a word of caution to any of you new homeschoolers out there, or any homeschoolers who are on a tight budget. You do not need a dedicated school space in order to homeschool. You do not need to set up desks or put posters all over your wall, spend a ton of money in order to homeschool in your home. Having a dedicated school space is great. It is a huge blessing, but it is by no means necessary. You can school no matter what your circumstances are. You do not need to spend a bunch of money or revamp an entire part of your home to homeschool. Okay, so now that we have that out of the way, I do want to share with you my newly updated homeschool space. This is our 9th year homeschooling. I honestly can't even believe it. We've been doing this for almost a decade now, and so our homeschool space was definitely in need of a little bit of an update. So we live in the suburbs in a 1980s style home. We moved here just a couple of summers ago, and I have slowly but surely just been kind of moving room to room, just trying to make this house our home. Like so many houses that were built in the 1980s, as soon as you walk in the front door, has a formal living room and a formal dining room that are connected to one another. And honestly, our family of 7, it is not formal. We are very casual. My husband and I immediately decided that we were going to devote these rooms to homeschooling. Also, those of you who have big families out there, you will totally relate to this. With 5 children, we have to be very creative with our space. We use every square inch of this house. And so I'm constantly trying to think outside the box, be creative, and to think of ways that we can use things multifunctionally. How we can use an eating space for a schooling space. How we can make a couch into a guest bed when grandparents come to visit. Trying to really make sure that we are getting the most bang for our buck. I am by no means an interior designer or a decorator. You will see as you walk through the tour that I tend to decorate my home in pretty warm, neutral colors, tans, whites, woods, beiges. I really like to keep things pretty neutral with a little bit of a farmhouse feel. Not too much, because we don't live in a farmhouse, we live in the suburbs, and yeah, I don't want to go too overboard. But I try to keep things pretty neutral and cozy, and then throw in pops of colors throughout the year and change that depending on what season we're in. So I'm going to start by taking you guys in through our front door, right into our front formal living room. This room is home to our piano and many of our musical instruments, as well as to a good portion of our bookshelves. On our back wall here, you can see this has been in a lot of my videos. This is our big book wall. This is where we keep most of our books. We also have bookshelves in our basement as well as in all of the bedrooms, but this is where we keep all of the kids' picture books, a lot of the books that my husband uses, all of the chapter books that the kids are reading, and in this left cabinet here, this is where I keep all of the kids' work that we are currently working on, all of their curriculum and workbooks that they are working on this year. So this top shelf here is just where I put my planner and Bible study. On this next shelf here, this is Noah's shelf. This is where he keeps all of his curriculum, his planner, Bible study, anything that he is working on school-wise for the year. Next, we have Leah's shelf. Again, same thing. They have pencil boxes that have their school supplies index card boxes where they keep all of the material that they are trying to memorize or review, and then all of their 3-ring binders, spiral notebooks, and all of the workbooks and things that go along with our curriculum. On this middle shelf here, I have a supply basket where I keep all of some of our like day-to-day supplies hidden. In here, I have just canning jars that hold mechanical pencils, pens, scissors, erasable colored pencils, Sharpies, overflow of some dry erase markers, and then also some pencil grips. On the next shelf here is Mariah's shelf. This is where she keeps her planner, all of her curriculum, and things like that. And then on this bottom shelf, this is Mama's shelf. This is where I keep all of my supplies, my teacher guide, my answer keys, anything that I need reference-wise for the kids' schooling goes down here on the bottom. As you move around the room to the right, you can see here that we just have a nice big sectional kind of couch. It's just an L couch that has just some nice cushions and a place to put up your feet. We bought this at Ikea for a really reasonable price several years ago. Actually, the bottom right side of the couch there actually pulls out and it turns into a bed. So this space also functions as a guest room for us when we need it to. Behind the couch there, I have some other Ikea shelves that are just full of board games, all of my board games that Justin and I like to play for fun, and then a lot of educational puzzles and other board games that the kids use for fun and as an extension of school. Next, we're going to move into the connected formal dining room. This is really our main schooling area, and this is the room that I did the most updating to this summer. We don't typically eat meals in this dining room space, but we do use it as an eating space whenever we have someone over to visit, friends or family who come over for a meal, which actually happens about once a week, if not more. So we are not eating in this room on a daily basis, but definitely on a weekly basis. So I needed to make sure that this room could function as a dining room as well as our school space. If you have seen any of my earlier videos where I have been in this school space, you can tell that this room definitely did get a nice facelift. The bottom of this room was painted a dark hunter green textured paint, and it took me about 5 coats of paint of white to cover that up. This room also used to have just a hodgepodge of mismatched furniture and a lot of wall hangings in here. Some things that were added to this room were the dining room chairs. These were some chairs that I actually bought off of Craigslist several years ago and refinished and just finally decided needed to be at home here in our school area. I also did purchase one new piece of furniture, this buffet behind me. It was something that has been kind of on our wish list for a while now. We were wanting some more storage space in this room for school stuff, as well as just some extra counter space to use when we were serving food at meals on the holidays and when we have people over. I also had a lot of fun shopping at our local antique mall. I went in with a very tight budget, and I was just searching and looking around for just a few touches and hints of farmhouse decor that I could use to kind of pull everything together. I also had a friend of mine who recently moved who just has the best design taste, who was awesome enough to sell me some things that she was getting rid of, kind of garage sale style. So really, we were able to update this space very inexpensively, and I think that this room will serve us very well for several years to come. Okay, so starting in this first corner, you'll see that I have this rustic whiteboard that I purchased off of Amazon this past year. We use this almost every single day, especially as we're taking notes through the teacher guide from Gather Round. It is really large. It's like 2 foot wide by 3 foot tall. I'll make sure to link it below. So in this first basket, I have my timeline poster that my kids and I will fill out little by little throughout the year. We have some command hooks on the wall where we can hang that up and then take it down as needed. I also have just some clear plastic sleeves. You guys will hear me talk about this when I go through some of my supply haul videos this upcoming week. I also have a poster portable wall from IEW that we use when we're working on our IEW papers. This is also where I house all of our placemat maps and any type of placemat visuals that we are utilizing right now currently in our homeschool. So this other big square basket holds all of the books that we are currently using in our unit study. You guys can see these in the video I did a couple weeks ago about planning and prepping for our oceans unit, but this is where I put all of our books for our unit study book basket. As we move around the room, you'll see I have a nice big chalkboard. Again, this is something I purchased from a friend of mine who was moving recently, and also this nice big wreath on there. Now, I have the wreath up for right now, but I will take this down from time to time to use as a chalkboard themed wall for some of the unit studies that we're doing. On the table, I also have this really cute just table runner. I bought it at the At Home store. It's just kind of a grayish and white color. I just thought it really pulled the room together. And then this was one of the finds I got at the antique mall a couple of weeks ago. It's just a little crate with dividers on the inside that I thought we could put pencils, pens, anything that the kids are using a lot right here in the middle of the table. Next, we'll move over here to our corner bookshelves. I've had a couple people have asked me where I bought these. These are from the At Home store. And on this top shelf here, you can see that globe that I purchased in my August Costco haul, and just some other little decorations, a little plant and some little wooden books my grandfather made. On the next shelf here, I have one of my Treasures from Jennifer board. This is her two-sided alphabet board that we love. Just a real plant. And then in that metal tin there is where I store all of my extra whiteboard markers, dry erase markers, and erasers. On this next shelf, we have just my little letter board here. It's a two-sided board I bought on Amazon. This is where we put our verse that we're currently working on for our oceans unit, Isaiah 43:2. On this next shelf here is where I have my morning time basket. This is where I keep any read alouds that I'm doing for breakfast time, as well as any memory work things I'm working on with Mariah. Here's just a weather station board that I got for her at Michael's that we're going to work on every day this year during her calendar time. In this book, I also have another read aloud that we are working on. Down here on this bottom shelf is where I keep all of our reference books, our animal encyclopedia, dictionary, things like that. There's actually a video coming up in this series all about what reference books I love and use in my homeschool. In this white little bin right here is where we keep all of our flashcards, animal cards for our ocean study that we're doing right now, as well as some of our Spanish cards. Any type of flashcards we're working on, I just stick down in that little white bin. Okay, and then as we continue to pan around the room here, in this other corner, I have just this nice big rustic bulletin board. I actually got this at Walmart for around $20, and I added that metal R up there in the corner for Ralston. So then moving down, this is actually a new piece of furniture that we just purchased from the At Home store. Now, this is just like a little rolling cart buffet that you can use for a dining room or really just anywhere. On the top of it here, I have just these really cute wooden placemats that I found at the antique store. I also got this metal tray from Walmart and just some cute little succulents and another empty basket. My intention for this area is to use it for nature studies. Whenever we find things on our nature walks or nature studies, the kids can kind of collect items here in these baskets and trays. On the next shelf here, I have just our little calendar block system. I bought this at Michael's on clearance a couple of months back. In this basket, this is where I'm going to store all of my stickers. I went ahead and threw my ocean stickers in here, but as the year goes on, I end up having lots and lots of stickers. So that's what that basket is going to be for. And also this little metal tin bucket here. This is where we're going to put all of our little tube figures that we use for each of our Gather Round units. That one currently has our ocean animals. I bought those on Rainbow Resource. Below in these shelves, I currently behind the doors just stashed all of our ocean activities that we're going to be working on, my sensory bins for Ezra, things like that. On this next shelf here is where we keep all of our nature journals. I love these black nature journals. I get them on Rainbow Resource. I will make sure to link them below. And then here on the bottom shelf, we just have large glass jars of crayons and colored pencils. Next, as you continue your way around the room, we end up at our little fish tank area. Mariah asked for fish a couple of years ago for her birthday, so this is where our fish live. So let me officially introduce you to Lillian and Kerplunk, Mariah's goldfish. This is also where we house our electric pencil sharpener, and in the drawer below the fish tank is where I just keep some extra school supplies. So I like keeping all of these items in a drawer. They're kind of out of toddler eyesight and reach, so that's why I choose to store most of these items here. The cabinet below just houses all of the supplies that we need for the fish tank, cleaning supplies and food supplies for Lillian and Kerplunk. And then this bin right here is where we put all of our math manipulatives, our math UC blocks. These are just some little fraction and decimal manipulatives Noah and Leah use. My treasures from Jennifer board, and then also just 100 charts. This bottom basket is actually empty, which I have learned I need to have some empty spaces in my homeschool, or I won't have room for things that we end up doing mid-year. So I'm kind of purposely keeping that basket open for something we'll add later on, I'm sure, in the months to come. Okay guys, well I think that wraps things up for today. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and like it below. Leave me a comment. Tell me where you do homeschool in your house. Tell me what your space looks like, whether you use a dining room or a bedroom or a loft or just around your kitchen table. How do you organize and store all of your homeschool supplies? Also, like I said, this is video 1 in my back to school series. So if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to my channel so that you do not miss any of the content coming up this week. I hope that all of you are having a great start to your homeschool year. See you later.